Welcome to Charts Today. My name is David Linton, and today's edition for Thursday, the 23rd of August, comes to you from London. Dollar climbing a little bit after a few days down. Fed last night signaling next month they're likely to raise rates, so it's just providing some dollar strength in the short term, but we're still bearish below the cloud on the short-term chart. Medium term, of course, still bullish. Euro falling back a little bit on the back of that stronger dollar. And if we look at Japanese yen, we're seeing the dollar strength really kicking in here. We've actually turned bullish on the short-term chart on the cloud, although we do still have some short-term downside targets hanging over us for the dollar. Looking at sterling falling away against that dollar strength as well, and against the euro, sterling still weak, bearish below the cloud on all three time frames with downside targets. So this is a more clearly bearish position. Looking against the Swiss franc, sterling pushing considerably lower there, so bearish as well. And against the Aussie dollar, actually sterling rising, so Aussie dollar falling on political woes in Australia at the moment. Bitcoin is up this morning, had a big jump yesterday. So it was nudging this $7,000 level again. Not enough to take us bullish on the medium-term chart, but short-term we are looking better. Quite a lot of volatility there in the price over the last 24 hours. Looking at the S&P 500 index, another new all-time high last night, so that's looking pretty good as well. We're pushing to new highs there, and the Nasdaq index also pushing higher, up over 1/3%, and just starting to nudge into bullish territory again. So US tech looking stronger again. Dow Jones index was weaker overnight, and the Russell 2000 we've seen just pushing higher, still up another 1/4%, pushing to new all-time high there as well. The futures this morning, we're seeing the S&P future little changed. The Nasdaq E-mini also little changed, so hard to call which way the US will open today. The UK market is up very slightly, but still bearish on the short-term chart. Medium-term, UK stocks looking a little bit better. The mid-market 250. The DAX still struggling to get above the cloud, so bearish on the medium and short-term charts, and the CAC Quarant much the same position. Looking at Japan, overnight we were down very slightly, still bearish on the medium and short-term charts, and the Hong Kong index also struggling to get higher, down 0.5%. The Chinese market actually up a little bit, but again just struggling to break the bearish trends on all three time frames. The Sensex in India was up slightly, bucking the trend in Asia, and looking at the Aussie market falling lower on that political turmoil. A challenge to the Prime Minister there. Brent crude a little bit weaker, having touched $75 yesterday, looking much stronger short term, and WTI also nudging higher, hitting that 70 level yesterday, but pushing back again. So it was 68 yesterday. US nat gas just can't get through that $3 level, back at 295. And if we take a look at gold falling back below the 1190 level, having got just nudged above 1200 yesterday, just couldn't quite stay there, but still holding on to its bullish short-term trend. And if we look at silver, much the same picture, although silver has turned very short-term. Looking at the 10-year yield for the US market, 2.82%, little changed on those Fed comments overnight. Still bearish on the yield there. Apple pushed a little bit higher, but pretty flat the last couple of days. Amazon also just pushing higher, 1% higher, and looking strong all round. Google has been weaker on that short-term chart, just can't get through out of that short-term downtrend. And Facebook holding support at about 170, which would be a lower low if we fell below 170. Still bearish on the short-term, and the medium-term chart looking less good there as well as we start to wander through the cloud. Looking at Microsoft, we're looking bearish here as well, and looking at Netflix, we have just managed to get back above the cloud on the price on the short-term chart, maybe finding support on the medium term with a lagging line, so looking a little bit better after last month's sell-off. Tesla has been in the news a lot lately, of course, still bearish on that short-term chart, and prices still struggling on the cloud on the medium term. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.